Good day kwese kwamuri. In today's lesson, toda kuita a criterion response. We want to look at the response one of our students made on this particular differentiation question, and we want to attend to it. So I don't know if you can read out question yacho panapa, but I will be aiding you. Question iri kuti, the point P minus 26 lies on the curve y is equal to 2 minus x squared minus x cubed. Part 1 iri kuti, find the equation of the tangent and the equation of the normal at the point P, each in the form y is equals to mx plus c, and it has 6 marks. So let us do part 1 together. Then after we have done it, teachers otarisa in that solution if the student got it right. So let us reread the question to get what we have to get from it. Irikuti, we have a point P minus 26 which lies on the curve, and the curve is chi, y is equal to 2 minus x squared minus x cubed. Find the equation of the tangent and the equation of the normal at the point P. So if we have a curve like this, and let us say this is the curve we have. Sakapa, we are not concerned with accuracy when it comes to representing this curve. Atisukutarisa kuti curve redu tarinyora zvakanaka here. In actuality, tirikuda kungoshandisa curve for illustration. Tova tati this is our point P, like that. Then tati this is the point P. Zviri kunzi titsvage the equation of the tangent and then the equation of the normal at the point P. Korati pa point P panapa ndo patofanga kuisa chin a tangent. So forgive me, but this should be a straight line inongobata this point P at this particular point. Saka this is the tangent rata draw. Then chinonzi normal is a line which meets the tangent perpendicularly, correct, at 90 degrees. So if we put a line like this, mapaona, then this is 90 degrees, like that. Saka iri line iri ndorenge richi tangent, iri line iri no ndorenge richi normal. Okay. Saka tangoshandisa that curve, hatina kucherechedza kuti that curve really accurate here or not, but tangoshandisa that curve for the sake of illustration, and it the end what I identify kuti this is the point P. Ndokuona kuti tabataisa our tangent and our normal. The goal is we want to find the equation of the tangent, but we shouldn't forget kuti P and it's minus 26. Minus 2, 6. Kureva kuti, kuri kuti tanga tiine an x-axis kunoko and a y-axis like this. Point inoi kuri kuti taidzosa, so this will be minus 2 because ndiyo x. Then tikadai so kuno kuchitsvaga kuti y angari chi, anengari 6. So that is what it is like. And luckily enough, question edu vatudza kuti our answers should be in the form y is equals to mx plus 6. Luckily enough, vatudza kuti our answer should be in the form y is equals to mx plus c. Kureva kuti we need the gradient. We need the gradient. But tinoziva kuti the gradient at the point P, maybe let me write it as a statement. The gradient of the point, cannot the gradient of the curve rather, at point P, where x is equal to chi minus 2, and we are told kutsvaga. Knowing kuti gradient ratichawana of the curve at this particular point rinenge riri equal to the gradient of this tangent, because if we go back to form 4, we know kuti tinoshandisa the tangent kuapproximate the gradient of a curve. andika. Okay, saka panapa we know kuti y is equal to chi 2 minus x squared minus x cubed. What is the gradient function? Dy dx. So panapa it's easy. The gradient of a constant is 0. Then apo 2 anodona yovachi minus 2x to the power 2 minus 1, which is just 1. Then apo 3 yodona yova minus 3x to the power 3 minus 1, which is 2. Saka turikuwana minus 2x minus 3x squared. That is the gradient function. But tawana the gradient function, takuda kuziva kuti at x is equal to minus 2. dy dx ingeri equal to chi. So dy dx panapa is equal to minus 2, like that. It's multiplying, what is x? X into minus 2. That minus 3 multiplying x squared, which will be minus 2 squared. So what do we get from this? Let me put our answer here. Minus 2 times minus 2 is 4. Negatives cancel out, and 2 times 2 is 4. Then up it's minus 3 multiplying chi, minus 2 squared is 4. So this will be 4 minus 3 times 4, 4, 8, 12. So it's minus 12 like this. Kurot chawana chi, minus 8. So minus 8 is our gradient. We can come here to atati. Therefore, the gradient of the tangent and the gradient of the tangent is equal to minus 8. What then is going to be the gradient of the normal? Saka takuchidzokera ku coordinate geometry, which we learned patakanga tiri malowa tichingotanga pepe, where we learned kuti the gradient of a tangent and normal, and we know kuti basically panapa tungoti lines that are perpendicular to each other. Sanjangoti lines that are perpendicular, and is equal to, cannot, it's given by, is given by m1 times m2 is equal to minus 1, where m1 is the gradient of tangent. Saka statement there, take it as a note. Amuzorinyorirese rakadai so in your answer. M2 is equal to gradient of normal. Saka kana maline achisangana at 90 degrees ndiko kuti ari perpendicular, like zvirikuitika panapa. Our tangent and normal zvirikusangana at 90 degrees. Tika multiply ma gradients acho ari 2, tinofanirwa kuwana a product of minus 1. So we are coming back here. Tanyora a statement. The gradient of a tangent and normal when lines are perpendicular is given by m1, m2 is equals to minus 1. Or m1 times m2 is equals to minus 1. Where m1 is equals to the gradient of tangent, m2 is equal to the gradient of normal. You get it? So panapa avchanetse chi, since m1 is equal to minus 8, that is minus 8 times m2 should give us minus 1. Divide both sides na minus 8 to be left with m2. Ucheka ma 8 achicheka kunoku, then the same happens here. Therefore, gradient of normal is equal to 1 over 8, like that. So that's important to note. The gradient of a normal multiplying the gradient of a tangent, the product should be minus 1. Very, very important in this particular case. Saka since tawana our gradients, chimwe chasara kuwana chi, chasara kuwana it's c. C is what? C the y-intercept, but I cannot illustrate it up because that curve was just for illustration's sake. Saka zvekutoti, for the sake of accuracy, when you present your answer, please do this curve iri kana musingari represent muchitarisa kuti kirofunga kubuda rakaita sei, just do it on your rough paper so that send a message to the examiner that you don't know what you are doing, because tungoisa any curve so that we can have a visual picture of what is happening. So we have that curve on a rough paper, but our conclusions tinenge tichimanyora like this. Okay, saka we now want to find C. Mapaona asi kuti tiwane C, saka ndokunauya panapa ndoti consider the C of tangent. Ngatitange na C we tangent. Tinomuwana say C we tangent. Let me put that diagram again. It's like this. Saka panchangoisa the tangent only, like that. Saka C kuti timuwane tiri kuimagina akadai so, handisi kuti C angari negative. Ndongoti C is the point where the tangent crosses the y-axis. You understand? So kuti tiwane taudzwa panapa kuti this point ndiani ndi -2, 6. Andika? As you can see kuti apa zviri kuita senge -2 inenge iri left kwa 0. Don't mind, this is just for illustration's sake. Saka at this point, what is going to be the value of x? X is always going to be 0 asi C ndo yatisiri kuziva. So what I want to teach here is maybe let me write it as a point at the y-intercept, and again x is always 0, making the point zero C, like that. Because trikutaura chiti C is the line where our tangent in this case crosses the point where our tangent in this case crosses the y-axis. Kureva kuti the value of 0 kana kuti the x coordinate at that particular point is going to be 0, but y inoramba iri C. So using this, tengeta kuti chi at the point where x is equal to 0, like that, what is going to be the value of C? Saka taudzwa pano, mapaona, we have y is equal to mx plus c, which is the generalized form of the equation of the tangent. Then we have calculated m, tikaona kuti ndiani. Remember, calculate m kunoku tikaona kuti angarichi -8. Saka takuda kumureplace panapa -8x plus c. But we know kuti x inenge iri 0 kana tiri pa y-intercept. So this is generally or basically what we have. But tichadzoka kunoku tonyora tanyora panapa kuti 0 c. So what we are going to do is, using the gradient -8, we are going to feign kana kuti tichanyepedzera kutsvaga gradient. Isu tiri kutoiziva gradient, but tichaita senge tanyepedzera kuitsvaga. What do I mean? Don't fret. Tichati gradient of tangent is equal to, katingoti y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, which is equal to -8, as we illustrated there. Then toya panapa, we have 2 points. We know kuti when we have 2 points, kutsvaga the gradient of a straight line is a given. Saka tinenge tangoya pano takuti uyu ndiye x1 y1, uyu ari x2 y2, like that. So what is y2? Y2 ndi c. c subtract what is y1, y1 is 6, that over what is x2, x2 is 0, subtract what is x1, x1 is minus 2, like this. This is equal to minus 8. As you can see, tava an equation where we can evaluate c. So what happens, let me try to explain again. So we have to appreciate and also acknowledge that at this point, the y-intercept point, x anga is 0 and y anga is c. Then toshandisa this point in a point yatatopiwa kudhara, which is minus 26. Tichashandisa mapoints ari to kuita senge tiri kutsvaga gradient yatinotoziva, so that when we evaluate like this tinoona kuti tangosarwa neequation yatinogona kusolve for c. So if you don't understand this part, please don't hesitate to ask. So this is going to be equal to c minus 6 over, then 0 minus minus 2 is just 2, is equal to minus 8. 2 akauya uko, c minus 6 is equal to 2 multiplying minus 8, that's minus 16. So c is equal to minus 16 plus 6. C is equal to minus 10. Luckily, zvatanga tadrowa kuya zvakumeka sense. Kora kuti c apa inga richi 0 minus 10. Mapaona. Then todzoka kuno kuteta ngoti therefore equation of tangent, like that, equation of tangent is equal to y2 minus y1. Actually it's equal to, it's given by equation of tangent inenge richi y is equal to gradient ndian minus 8x and what is c minus 10. So this is the equation of the tangent. Taita an operation yatawana nayo the gradient, which should be the easier part. Tikazoita another operation yatawana nayo the y-intercept, which should also be an easier part. Ndo vatazongoenda tikanoita input values atawana in our original equation. Do you get it? Okay. Saka, this having been done, let us now just compute the equation of sateta kuti consider the c of the normal. The c of the normal. Saka c normal tunaita say again our dramatization. Saka this is rakatungoisa tangent and a normal meeting at 90. Saka we are going to kurikuti this is our y and x tangoisawo. Saka izvi zviri kuraf paper pamusana pekuti hamusi kuda kupa examiner false idea yekuti hamuzivi zvamuri kuita. So like this, tikaita extrapolate our line, tiri kutsvaga this point where the value of x is still 0 and the value here is c1. Let us say c1 kuti differentiate. Sando yatiri kutsvaga, but panapa we know kuti pana p and the p turns indian the minus 2 6, like that. So we are going to do the same operation. And what are we going to do? We are going to say gradient of normal is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, which is equal to, we calculated it kumsoro kunoku, tukaona irichi iri 1 over 8. Saka 1 over 8, like that. So 8 akauya uko inenge irichi. Before we even do that, I'm sorry, we know that we are using 0, c1 na minus 2 6. So let us call this x1 y1 x2 y2. Saka y2 ndian the 6 6 subtract y1 ndian y1 the c1 c1 over ko x2 ndian x2 ndi minus 2, so minus 2 subtract somehow togara taisa subtract x1 ndian x1 ndi 0 like that. Mapona. Saka this should be equal to 1 over 8. Tikaita cross multiply inenge chiti 8 multiplying 6 minus c1 iri equal to 1 multiplying minus 2 minus 0, which means 8 times 6 ndi 48. So 48 minus 8c1 is equal to, then minus 2 minus 0 ndi minus 2. Minus 2 times 1 ndiani ndi minus 2. Always check for arithmetic errors, making sure to have done correctly. 8 times 6, 48. 8 times minus c1 ndi minus 8 c1. 1 times minus 2 ndi minus 2. 1 times minus 0 ndi minus 0. Tongenyora yakadai so. Then since tiri kutsvaga kuti c1 ndiani, tinomuendesa ku 2 ouya uko, saka 48 plus 2 is equal to 8c1. What is 48 plus 2? 49, 50. So 50 is equal to 8c1, like that. Saka apo manje we have to divide both sides na 8. Ma 8 achekane kunoku. Therefore c1 is equal to, panapa we can just use, let us say 2. 2 into 8 angari 4 and 2 into 50 angari 25. Saka let us just write it as 25 over 4. That will be the value of c1. So kana ndaona maanzas anenge achita sengari fishi kudai, so I usually like checking. Saka e minus 8c1 aenda kuside uku ikaita positive, correct. Minus 2 ikauya ikaita positive. 48 yabva from 8 times 6 minus 8c1, correct. Yeah, I think it's correct. Saka teta ngoti therefore equation of normal is equal to, kana is given by, mamisi box ndere kungo highlighter my answer. Saka mukona kuti it's given by panapa kana kuti modai so. Y is equal to, what is m? 1 over 8. Saka it's mx plus the c ndiani 25 over 4. You can choose to further simplify it or not. Saka that is going to be our answer. So I hope you understood it, because it's beautiful. I hope you understood it. Let us go to our student. Looking at it like this, we see that the student said gradient of the normal, okay? Then dy dx is not, is it equal to this? No, this is y. So the student rearrange y. Saka panapa should not be dy dx. Y is equal to minus x cubed minus x squared plus 2. So what then is this? Okay, this does not work here, because papa it's, you'll be more like multiplying, and you are multiplying an equation. Zvinongoshanda kuma equations chete. Multiplying an equation by a common factor. Saka zvaizongoshanda chete dei yanga iri equal to something panapa, where you could also say minus 1 kuno. So apo it's actually an error of principle. Please, if you can, go back to, like, you have to understand this. Errors of principle, my errors of principle anorwadza, because ano suggest that there is something you principally don't understand or fundamentally don't understand. So please make sure you know how to solve your equations, you know what to do when. And I'm hesitating, but I would suggest you revisit your O-level fractions and O-level fractional equations and relearn them, because that is an error of principle. And since you are in advanced level, we assume that O-level you've done it properly and you know the stuff. So that is actually an ordinary level mistake. So I'm sorry if I might sound harsh, but you really have to make sure you correct that, because This does not make any sense at this point. Chekutanga, this was also an error of principle. Like, why are you saying dy dx is equals to that when you haven't differentiated? Do you think rearranging an equation is differentiating it? So that's also an error of principle there. Tikauya panapa, when x is minus 2, m is equals to 8, iri kubva kupi? Handizivi kuti ndimakaita senge yaitaka kufanana negradient rangu inini, because isusu tawana minus 8. Maybe it's just a coincidence, but it seems as if tangata differentiate panapa. Andika? Yeah. Saka yato mistake it's an arithmetic mistake kai. Arithmetic mistake. And panapa, you have to learn how to communicate your answer, because handisikuona kuti zviri kufamba sei, zviri kuenderana here kubva padhis zvakazviitwa kuno uku izvi tichiuya uku, hapana sungawirirano. So the reason why I'm recording this, I want you to learn from what I have been doing. Okay, so what is the mistake here? Minus 2 squared into 4, so it will be 3 times 4, correct? Okay, let us take this, and if we differentiate it, kunyangwe panapa you didn't show me the differentiation. Like, I cannot see the differentiation kuti yaitwa papi. Andika? So let me do the differentiation. So dy dx is equal to minus 3x squared and minus 2x. Then this is a constant. Kureva kuti you have to differentiate correctly panapa. That's the mistake. Differentiate correctly. And you see the cost, because I could have been marking panapa. Kunyangwe, you are not communicating properly, but I could have been marking panapa. So differentiate correctly. You have lost a mark because of that. So no differentiation mark pano. Equation of the tangent y is equals to mx plus c. 8 alright. This is actually good, and I'm happy here, but fortunately I cannot give you any mark because this gradient is wrong. But we have done a method yandafarira pakuti you just took the point p minus 26 ndongonoibairira in this kuitira kuti panapa ikava 6 apo ikava minus 2 tichimultiply negradient redu minus 8 tinofanirwa kuwana c. Saka zvakasiyana nezvandaita ini ndatenderera, so I'm corrected. Thank you. But let us rekatinyatsokisa chaiyo chaiyo panapa. I cannot mark this because of this wrong gradient, but it will be 6 and is equal to minus 8 multiplying minus 2 plus c. Kureva kuti 6 iri equal to minus 8 times minus 2 ndi 16 plus c. Saka 16 ikauya kunoku inova 6 minus 16 is equal to c. Zvinoreva kuti c ndi minus 10, and c uyu zvaari minus 10, you can see kuti kunoku for the tangent tawana c futi ari minus 10 panapa. So you are really close. I'm really happy. You are very, very close. Changosara kugona kucommunicate maanswers enyu nekungova more careful pakuti you have to differentiate correctly. You have to, because from here to this point you should be getting your 3 marks. So if I apply decency panapa, I can be giving you a mark there, which is acknowledging an incorrect answer from a correct method. So it's a 1/3 because there is some form of a correct methodology panapa. Do you recognize? But since tichiri pa learning corner, tiwanze kufarira kupa mapart marks are lenient because we want you to learn the stuff, you know. Saka please make sure you correct your stuff. Let me see kana zvinoma zvanzwisiswa. The tangent of the curve saka panapa it's wrong gradient. Equation of a normal. Panapa futi incorrect differentiation. Please make sure you don't lose marks like this. Please. And when the slope of the normal is, where did you get this number? It's correct, -1/8. And iri -1/8 tikatora 8 and onai tikati 8 times m1 is equal to -1, inosvika iri -1/8, but haifaniri kuva -1/8, inofanirwa kuva 1/8, like what we did here, like this 1/8. So you showed me kuti you understand the concept, but you should communicate kuti ndinyatsokuona. Ndangafanga kuona statement rakanyorwa kuti gradient of normal times gradient of ndafaona statement rakadai, so gradient of normal like this times gradient of tangent. A very simple statement, harimbokutoreri time, is equals to -1. Ndozoona maconvergence acho kusvikira panapa. Saka I will grant a mark pano. You know kuti the gradient of a tangent and normal should have a product of -1. That should be explained how you got this. Okay, but same thing pano, kureva kuti you did it correctly. Pakunoita input this and that. I'm going to acknowledge it with just a mark. Okay, then of course I won't mark this because it will be wrong at this point, and also this will be affected as wrong. Correct. Per 6 marks, it's out of leniency. You have 1, 2, you cannot have 3 marks. You cannot have a pass mark when you have been doing mistakes. So these should be half marks actually, not 1. So forgive me this wrong. This is a half mark. We cannot give 1 mark for a wrong answer. This is advanced level. Saka these are half marks. Kureva kuti you have 1.5 out of 6. But that question. Alright. Let us see further kuti panga pachidiwe. So that will be our part 2. So part 2, reading it, it would, given that the tangent meets the y-axis at A and that the normal meets the y-axis at B, show that the length AB is 16.25 units. So graph paper kwenyu mungonesa curve rakadai. This is the point P. This is the tangent, and this is the normal, like that. Mapaona. Then zvirikubva zvanzi, we have the y-axis and the x. Toda kuimagine zviri kutaurwa panapa. Given that the tangent meets the y-axis at A, saka tikadai so, tikaramba tichiriwedzera, panapa ndo patenge takuti chi A. So zvanzi meets the y-axis at A zvanzi and the normal meets the y-axis at B. Tikawedzera normal panapa B, like that. Show that the length AB is 16.25. Saka length yatiri kutsvaga kubva panapa is this length. Iyi ndo length yatiri kutsvaga. Maona. And we should know kuti the length, according to coordinate geometry, length between 2 points, it's given by the Pythagoras theorem. So what we rather need pano is, if you look closely, parikutaurwa pachinzi meets the y-axis like this. Parikutaurwa about C, the y-intercept, the point where a line meets the y-axis. Saka we can easily put my points edu panapa. So x is going to be 0, and what is the c when it comes to the normal? Saka c we normal tati 25 over 4. Saka 25 over 4 like that. And then panapa ingeri futi x ari 0 ko c anga reaching c taona ndi minus 10 like this. Saka we just need to find the length from AB. AB ngeri equal to chi. So the length between A and B is given using the Pythagoras theorem. Tinget sheet is equal to the square root of x2 minus x1 squared twatati plus y2 minus y1 squared. So it's the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Kureva kuti we should know kuti inoitika iti x1 y1 inoita itichi x2 y2. Saka kana takungozviita reinterpret, this is equal to, so what is x2? Then x2 antitati x1, saka x2 is 0, so it's 0 subtracting x1 is 0 zvakare squared like this plus what is y2? Y2 panapa ni minus 10, tovatati subtract what is y1? Y1 did 25 over 4 like this squared. Saka inoiteta kuti it's equal to like this 0 minus 0 squared into 0. Saka panapa we have minus 10 minus 25 over 4 everything squared. So it's like this minus 10 minus 25 over 4 squared. Saka let us solve what is inside the brackets. So you can do it on a rough paper if you see the need, but it's just 4 times minus 10, which is minus 40 minus 25 over 4 like that. Remember it's squared. So this is equal to minus 40 minus 25. We are adding 40 and 25. 5 panaba 4 5 6, so it's 65 minus 65 over 4 like this squared. But we know panosangana square root ne panosangana the square root ne the square, they cancel each other. That's why kana tichida kubvisa square root tinoisa square, kana tichida kubvisa square tinoisa square root. Correct, this is simply equal to minus 65 over 4. But let us simplify this. Toona kuti it reduce to 16 and 1 over 4. So this is equal to tikati 4 into 4 ndi 1, 4 into 6 ndi 1, 4 5 6, saka there is a remainder of 2. Tikati 4 into 25, 6 12 18 24, saka 4 into 25 ndi 6 with a remainder of 1 over 4, saka 16 and a quarter shown. Mapona. Saka izo ziri kutoprova kuti macoordinates edu tamaita zvakanaka because answer yedu irubva yanodi yanobuda. So chakakosha kuziva kutanga formula kana chitsvaga the distance between 2 points tinongoti the square root of bracket x2 minus x1 squared plus bracket y2 minus y1 squared. And that formula inobva epi? Inobva kuchi? Inobva ku Pythagoras theorem. Saka this is an application of the Pythagoras theorem, and I trust you learned this under coordinate geometry. Let us check with our student if this was done correctly. Saka I cannot see panapa. Let me try to follow tangent of the curve. So this of course it's wrong because yambokone kumsoro equation of the normal is also going to be wrong. But should I award any half marks panapa? In the line wise y-axis x is equals to 0, there is no reasoning I can follow here. Saka I cannot afford or put any marks. Kureva kuti out of the 2 marks you get a 0. What it means is after 6 7 8 question yese yanga ine 8 marks, you have 1.5 out of 8. Andile. But as is custom, tinowanza kufarira kuona kuti what is the percentage, what are we working with. Your percentage is 18.75%, which is ordinary level or graded. And it might coincide with my comments pama errors of principle panapa, which were not there to discourage you. Like I've said, you are really close, and I was really happy with what you did here. Where is the part? Yes, I was really happy with your method here because it is actually more correct than mine. Mine kutenderera, yours was really straight to the point. But you really need to just fix up a few things. My last word of advice is, mistakes like this usually happen if you are not confident. So it might not be good you have to revise some topics in O level, which I trust you don't have to do. But you have to fix the confidence issue. Because when you are not confident, you make mistakes. Even I, when I'm doing my own mathematics, the moment I'm not confident with what I'm doing, or I don't think I'm working correctly, I see myself making a lot of silly mistakes. So please work on the confidence issue. Make sure you are confident with your work. So thank you. I hope you learned. If there are any issues, be it to our student or to anyone who is watching this, don't hesitate to get in contact with us. Ask your questions in the comments or directly. Otherwise, thank you and Godspeed.